Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to today's broadcast. My name remains Paul. As usual, I'm titling my today's broadcast Migrating to the US Useful Tips, Part 5. Today is June the 23rd, 2024. Happy Sunday to you all. In my very brief broadcast today, I want to discuss very briefly the requirements for a B1 and a B2 non-immigrant visas. If you want to make an application for a B1 or a B2, some of the requirements you need will be that one, you must prove that your trip to the US is just for a short time. You're not staying for a very long time. That is very important. Two, you must also show proof that you plan to return to your country after your brief visit. Okay? Three, that you have a place to live outside of the United States. In other words, you have ties to whichever country you are coming from. Africa, Asia, or wherever it is. And that you have not come to stay permanently in the US on that particular visa. Okay, so you have a place to return to, you're visiting for a short time, and you plan to depart. In addition, you must also prove that you are able to fulfill the requirements. In other words, you have the monies to pay for your trip and stuff like that. Okay, so some of the documents that are required you need is that one, you must have a current passport, your native passport, your country's passport. Wherever you're coming from, you must have your country's passport with you, a current one, and it must have at least 1 year on it. Because of the length of time it takes these days to attend a visa interview, so it's important that you look at the expiration date on your passport, your country's passport, and you must make sure that the length of time you have before it expires that is able to accommodate the visa interview. So you must be sure that the span of the passport, the life on the expiration date, is still at least 1 year all in advance before you attend that particular interview. Because on that interview date or before then, or during the interview, the visa officers will usually check whether you have at least 6 months before the expiration date on your current passport. So you wouldn't be helping yourself if your passport has expired, has some few more days to expire. No, that will not be very good for you. Okay, so you must have a length of time on it, at least 1 year, to be very sure before you are able to make that application. Now, you must as well, part of the process is that you must have filed in your form DS-160. Form DS-160. So that is the form, you have to fill it online on the US Embassy page, non-immigrant visa page. You must fill out that form, and once you have filled out that form, you are able to post that form to the consulate. It depends on which country or where you're applying from, but you got to fill out the form, submit it, and then you will get a confirmation page once you submit that form DS-160. And that confirmation page, you got to then print it out and keep it, because you attend the interview with that form, because they want to be sure you are the right person. Okay? And now after this, you must make sure you pay your visa fee. If you're applying from Nigeria, the visa fee is usually paid at a GTB bank physically, or you can pay online. So once, it depends on where you're applying from, it's very easy to pay online. And then they have to convert. Sometimes you have to convert the visa fees you exchange it, you convert it to your local currency, and whatever it is, then you are able to pay online. Okay, you have to be careful, especially if you're using an agent. Some of these agents will take your details and they mess them up. So for you to be sure your information is intact, make sure your agent sends to you the form DS-160 he has filled out for you before he submits it. You must be able to go through that form and keep a copy. You have the opportunity to print out the entire form DS-160. Yes. And also the confirmation page, so that you are able to know what information has been sent. That is very important for you. So you must send your form DS-160, and then you get a confirmation page through your email, and then you proceed to now paying your visa fee. That visa fee is usually in dollars, but you got to convert it to your local currency. It depends on where you're applying from. Okay, so after that, then it's usually you need to know that for you to have a successful interview, then you must get all things right. You must be able to fill out those forms correct. So make sure you know all that you filled out, what you do, and all that, how much you have, and stuff like that. And the visa process is usually tough, so don't think is that simple. You must be careful. You must craft your form. You must fill it out very, very well. No mistakes. You must give accurate information, accurate data, and so that everything will work out for you. And you must be able to show that you have the ability to return after you attend the interview. Now, again, it's important to know how much you're required to have in your bank account. So, for this time, it's about $6,000 to $10,000. That's what you should have in your account. Okay, $6,000 to $10,000. So you convert it to your local currency, whatever that means, and then you have the right to stay in the U.S. For the length of time you come in on B1 or B2. The maximum is 6 months at a time. But there are things you are allowed to do while you're on B1 or B2. B1 or B2, the two of them, they are the most common visiting visas, non-immigrant visas. And there are things you can do in the US while you are on B1 or B2. Okay? So for you to have a good interview, you must prove that you have good ties in your home country, that you have the plans to return after the visit, that you have enough money to cover the trips. This is during the interview now. Then you have documentation to prove your reasons for the visit. Okay? Even if you don't have documentation, so you're able to prove it by simple explanations and appearing genuine. You must be a genuine traveler. You must be genuine. You must have the funds, and you must have the intent to return. Okay? So you must also try to explain your relationships with people in the US. If you have brothers, if you have sisters, if you don't have anybody, it's not a crime. If you don't have anybody, you do what we call hotel reservation. You get a place, you make a reservation, and then you are able to be granted the visas if you are able to pay for that reservation. And so you can always follow me on Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Please share, please like, please comment. I want to grow my page, so I will appreciate it if you out there can support my efforts. Thank you so very much. So you must be careful that you have very good reputation. Some of the things that can fail somebody at the interview is if you have a criminal record, if you have engaged in drugs, okay, if you're engaged in trafficking, human trafficking, if you have engaged in some kind of documented abuses or things like that. Drug peddling, human trafficking, sex trafficking, other criminal activities. So if you have a criminal record, it's going to be a problem for you. Okay, so what are the things you can do in the US if you have a B1 or a B2? Very quickly, for B1, you are allowed to do some business transactions. You have a contract. You have, buying and selling. You want to get them, you want to buy bulk, contract businesses and stuff like that. For B2, tourism, you are allowed to, it's just for recreation. You're also allowed on medical treatment on your B2. You're also allowed to participate in, if you have B1, conferences. If you have some conferences, if you have contract negotiations, you are allowed to do so. Now, under B2, you have sightseeing, visiting family, attending weddings, and stuff like that. Okay? Now, you are prohibited to working in the US under the B1, B2, but there are circumstances under which such things can be possible. If you know how to do it, it's possible. You can also get married. A fiance, you can have a relationship. You come into the country, you get married. Okay? You might have an internet relationship, and the person files for you what they call a fiancé visa. Okay? That one is a separate and entirely. But when you're on a B1 or a B2, you can get married within the United States. And then, after that, you do what they call adjustment of status. And you move from your B1, B2 to a green card or permanent residency and stuff like that. So, I want to stop so far. Thank you for watching. Please share. Please comment. You can send me a DM. You can call me. If you need any particular information, heart-to-heart discussions, I'm open to that. Until I come your way again, please share, like, and comment. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you once again. Until I come your way next time, I remain your very good friend, Paul. Thank you, and bye for now.